What's up, folks? This is BG.
Okay, Bella.
And this is ROTB. Today, we're going to be speaking on our trek into the truth. There's probably going to be a couple of parts because we've been through a lot in our transition into the truth. So we're going to start out with the church that we went to start pushing us away and pushing us towards the truth. Okay, you want to go ahead and start?
Sure. Well, we just had moved to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and we were trying to find a church home because we had left Fayetteville, and so we didn't really have a church home or anything. And then so we prayed about it. We didn't know what to do. One day we saw these people passing around flyers for like a fish fry or a barbecue or something like that. And it was church people, and they came up to us and passed the paper and invited us to the church and everything. And we thought that was cool because we never really saw anybody come out really to the forefronts and try to get people to come to their church. So we thought that was cool. And it was a young church, a storefront church. It just had started, so it was like no politics going on just yet. So we went, and then that's when it all went down.
Yeah, it was all right for a while, but then
it was okay for 3 weeks.
He gave us the you have to speak in tongues with the evidence doctrine, and was trying to tell us that people like T.D. Jakes knew about that but didn't teach it, and stuff like that. And that that set wrong with us.
Yeah, because he was trying to tell us if you didn't speak in tongue, that anybody that didn't speak in tongue, they didn't go to heaven. We was like, well, I know my grandmother went to heaven. And so we started studying hard about that particular subject.
Yeah, and they use Acts 2 and 4 a lot, and there's a couple other places in Acts that they use to justify that
that doctrine,
that babbling that they was doing in that church.
Doctrine of the devil.
Yeah, we studied, we tried to find it, we still didn't find it, but we still flow with it. You know how you do when you're in Christianity, even if you feel like it's not true, you still roll with it.
Yeah.
Like, but after a while we start getting we start helping the church grow, start being part of ministries and everything. And I was the head of the poetic ministry, and my wife was part of the dance ministry and everything, and
the drama ministry.
And from that point when we start doing ministries is when the drama really started.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. The ladies in the church were like rude to me because I just was me, and I did what was pleasing to the Most High. At the time it was God at the most time, but I just tried to wholeheartedly follow him. And this is what we were doing. We were wholeheartedly trying to follow God for the first time, like put down liquor and all that, and truly follow him. And boy, was we rudely awoken.
Yeah. I mean, let me start with my drama first, because my wife, her drama was a little bit more extra. Well, I was head of the poetic ministry, and I don't know, I think I intimidated a lot of people. I don't know why, but
you intimidated the parents.
I started getting issues with children leaving the poetic ministry, saying they don't want to do it no more when they was really good writers and when they was all into it. And another thing that I also noticed, that the pastor of this so-called church would never, ever look me in my eyes. And me growing up, I was raised to say, if somebody look in your eye, something ain't right about them, But it's just, with me, I just, just people, just trying to fight for, I guess, my so-called position.
That one of the little boys hit BG in the face, and he was like 2 or 3, and I just went off on the mom because a child shouldn't be hitting an adult, and she shouldn't have condoned it.
Mm-hmm.
And she condoned him hitting my husband in the face. And so when I stood up to her, that's when everything started to happen after that.
Yep.
And then, so then I started having issues with my dance ministry because I had all the little girls of the church, and the way we started out was we washed each other's feet and painted each other's toenails because we were going to be dancing, and that was to just bring us closer in spirit. Okay, and so we were doing these things. The girls were changing; they were doing well, and I realized that one of the little girls she was this extra. She just was she thought she ran the church.
Mm-hmm.
She thought she ran the church. A little 14-year-old girl thought she ran the church, and I put her in her place, and then that's when a whole nother situation started to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And time passed on. The ladies of the church, I would walk into the church down the middle aisle. They would bump into
Mm-hmm.
me and try to like just bully me
Mm-hmm.
or be rude to me.
Mm-hmm. The tension was, you could feel it. You can slice it with a knife.
Yeah.
You can feel it. Even a wicked minister felt it.
Yeah. And it was just all out of jealousy because we were a young couple coming in, working for God in that church.
Mm-hmm.
And they were jealous because the way we were wholeheartedly working for God in the church. And so then one time my friend came down. It was like friends and family, and she came down and she was at practice with us, and one of the little girls' grandmother was in there, and they were being rude during our practice. And so my friend said something like, you can step out because we're having practice and you're being rude. And then the lady got upset, and a demon inside her started snapping out, and my friend was like, don't look at me with those eyes. I know those eyes. I know you. And then the lady got up.
Well, your friend pretty demonically.
Well, she was demonic too. Yeah, she was demonic too. Because the pastor, she was up when she came. The pastor would preach. She would always try to speak in tongue, act like she was all holier than thou. And then one time she was supposed to have the Holy Spirit in her, and she said, "Use me, Lord." And she sounded like a demon in herself, talking about "Use me, Lord."
And the pastor said she was bona fide.
Yeah, a bona fide demon.
Yeah.
Within her. Oh, long story short, we felt something was very wrong. We were about to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and then we met another couple and said, "Oh, this is good ground. This
Mm-hmm.
is good ground here. Oh, blessings arise here, and
Mm-hmm.
you're at home here. This is good ground."
Mm-hmm.
So we're young, and we don't know what to do. We're just distraught at this time because not only did they tell us about speaking in tongues, and we see something funny going on in the church, and
Mm-hmm.
we're not quite sure what everybody's covering up,
Mm-hmm.
but something's not right.
But I do have to be transparent with y'all. Luckily, before we went to that church, I did spend time in jail. Yes, BG did spend time in jail. But during that time when I was incarcerated, that whole year I was incarcerated, I read the Bible from beginning to end. So that helped me during that time to combat a lot of the false stuff. I was still weak. I was still unsure about things, but me knowing a lot of the stories and stuff and in the Bible and knowing what happened to what and who did what to who and stuff like that kind of helped us out, not being totally deceived by these people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Plus we can feel the tension. Plus we knew the way people cut their eyes at us, how they used to just
Bump into us.
Not to me. They used to bump into my wife.
And I would bump them back.
I didn't get major problems until later on, until after a certain situation happened with the minister, and I'm gonna let K Bella explain that about when you got into the mess with the little girl, and then you talked to him in the office, and then that's when you realized something was going on between the two.
Okay, yes. I was, because I would go, I didn't work at the time. Was I in school? I think I was in school, but I didn't work. So I had free time, so I would always be at the church, helping out, cleaning up, Just trying to get pews and things like that, and because I can do a lot of like business stuff, so I was able to help them get like a little daycare started and different things like that. So after summer care situation started and everything, and then I was in there one morning, and sometimes I would go talk to the pastor. We'd talk about different things, pray. I was in a lot of the ministries, so um, we would need to converse a lot. So I was in the office, and one day this little girl called. She texted him, and 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 she was supposed to be in school, and he's like all leaned back, looking at the text like, "She's supposed to be in school. She crazy." You know what I mean? And then did I read a text or a letter or something that the little girl had wrote? Okay, first of all,
No, he wrote her letter and put Daddy D at the end.
Yes, he wrote her a letter, a note, a little 14-year-old girl, and put Daddy D at the end. I was like, Daddy D? And oh my gosh. And so that's when I realized something ain't going on right.
And anybody know what Daddy D stand for, you know what that stand for.
Daddy Ick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Daddy middle part.
Daddy private.
So yeah.
Yeah, he's texting this little 14-year-old girl. They got a relationship going on. I peeps it, and all heck broke loose. Because the one Sunday that we were supposed to have our friends and family, the little girl, she didn't come to practice, but she came late and disrupted to my practice, and she wasn't allowed to dance. And because she wasn't allowed to dance, she called and got all upset, and her mom called and said, "I'm going to tear this place up," and da-da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da-da. So shortly thereafter, 3 days after that, the pastor got arrested for sexual abuse to a minor in 2 different counties.
Yeah.
The first time it happened, like, mind you, I was a paralegal, and I was like, helping him out with legal information. And so I told him, if he gets arrested again, then they found some old concrete evidence against him, and it's for real.
Yep.
And so he got arrested. All of the church people put their money up to get him out. And then a week later, he gets arrested again in a Burke County, in a whole nother county that he took the little girl to because somebody had passed away in her family.
Go ahead.
And somebody passed away in her family, and he took her down to this Burke County area and stayed in a hotel. And they had sexual intercourse and had blood on the sheets. And the people that ran the motel kept the blood on the sheets because they realized that something didn't seem right.
Just know by this time, this guy got arrested. This little girl was 16.
Yeah.
She was 16, so this has been going on for about 2-3 years.
Yes.
All right. This is when my issues came in because I worked with one of the ministers at a restaurant and everything, and I knew that the pastor did it, and I said stuff about it. So then my job got in jeopardy. And what happened is that it was one of the ministers that went to the church I went to, and it was a elder that went to another church that the people that went to the church that I went to came from. All right. Anyway, they was arguing in the front. I like, won't y'all chill out, man? Y'all arguing in front of the customer. I said, won't y'all act like grown men? I mean, y'all supposed to be men of the Most High and all that. So, needless to say, I went back to finish my work. Then the manager, the minister that was at the church, came back, mean mugging me, eyes red, looked like he wanted to buy. I asked, I said, what, you trying to swell up on me or something? Man, you looking kind of mad and stuff, but you know what I'm saying? But I was with a customer and everything. He was just messing with me. And me, having the temp that I had, I cussed him out. Basically, I cussed him out. I used cuss words, so yeah, I cussed him out pretty bad.
All the way.
And of course, I lost my job, but in the thick of things, that place ended up getting closed down.
Don't play with us.
It ended up getting closed down because the things that happened in there weren't right.
And we called corporate, and BG filed a grievance against the manager for trying to, fire him because he was standing his ground and he did nothing wrong.
He was basically trying to provoke me, which it worked. It worked. I fell for it.
He was younger.
Yeah, we were younger. I don't even know. We were
23, 24
we
probably.
Weren't that young.
Yes, we were. 25?
We was 25.
Okay.
Because I had got out of the joint.
Okay.
I went from 25. We were 26. Cause I went from 25 to 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was. I remember.
No,
I spent the whole year in
I on the outside.
there. But anyway, um, so needless to say, I end up not going no more. I ended up stopped going, and K Bella here, she decided she wanted to keep on going, even though I didn't like it. I couldn't stand it. But she's the type of person she got to learn the hard way. So
yeah, I kind of like it the hard way.
yeah,
It works better on my
but
soul.
you know, I let her go ahead and I mean, I understood though. I was upset about it because I knew the minister. He kind of liked he liked the few of them women up in there.
But I wasn't thinking about him. He's a pedophile.
Yeah.
I was just trying to really work for God at the time, the Most High Creator.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, and a reason why all of this really came out is because we had did a 21-day fast, and we like the Most High, He opened our eyes to a lot of stuff, and we were able to see a lot through a lot of this stuff, and this is the reason why it all came out, because we weren't blind to what was going on, and the whole church knew though. The whole church knew that he was pounding this little girl.
Yeah, they knew.
They knew it. They knew.
Because after the fact, they gonna say, "Well, we knew something was going on."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what it was is that the ministers. It was two ministers that was up under the main pastor, and they was fighting for position,
trying to get it. So if he left, they was gonna run the church.
Yeah, but what ended up happening is that they didn't have the skills to keep that place open.
Nope.
And
everybody was trying to run it.
And end up shutting down. They end up running back to the church that they left.
Yep. Ridiculousness.
You know. So, needless to say that they gave us a whole bunch of hell. You know what I'm saying? They talked about us even when we was moving. The minister didn't even help us move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The pastor didn't help us move. You know what I'm saying? And but he helped other people move and everything. And it was just horrible. It was a horrible experience. It was a good experience to learn. It really got us tired of church, really, or what Christianity, church or whatnot. And we always felt that it was more to it. It was one of those type of pastors that teach on tithes all the time.
Teach on tithes.
And I said in one video that I heard a minister say that's not enough money, and this is the guy that did it. But
yeah.
Needless to say, like my wife was saying, he got arrested in 2 different counties. They got proof from the girl's blood because he would have sex with her while she was on her period.
Yeah.
They found
kept her panties.
Yeah, and kept her panties in the crevices of his car seats. They found her
blood on the
fan and everything. And
nasty.
Yeah.
Letters. They took the FBI came. We were doing a summer program there. We had to move the kids to the Goodwill for the day, go shopping, because the FBI came to confiscate all of the computers and any kind of information that they had.
Yep. I mean, and it's crazy because you're sitting down watching TV, and all of a sudden you see your doggone pastor being escorted and the police car with handcuffs on.
Yes, and I had a vision one day. I told him, I said, "Oh, Pastor, should I say his name? Pastor Butler, I saw you, and all these lights was around you. He was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Yeah." But guess what? What I had saw months past was him. You had all these pictures being taken of him because he was going to jail, and that's what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has 68 years. He got 68 years plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
he's trying to say he ain't do it, but I mean, that got too much. You can't get arrested in 2 different counties. 2 different counties, and then try to say you still ain't do it. And they got the blood proof, and the people from the hotel that you took the girl to still kept the sheets that had the period blood on it,
and the receipt to the hotel.
And the receipt, pretty nasty. And the people that sat there and knew at that church, y'all would be ashamed of yourself. Yeah. I hope y'all watching this.
I hope you watching it.
I hope
all y'all
watching
ministers this. And fake first ladies and all of that. I hope y'all are watching.
Yeah.
Because you're wrong.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to answer for that.
Yep.
You're going to have to answer for the way that you treated people that came to that church trying to abide by the laws of the Most High.
With y'all nasty attitude.
Nasty.
You know what I'm saying?
Nasty Christian attitude.
Yeah, nasty. But needless to say, the last time that Uh, my wife went. She did her last dance, and I ended up going. But after her dance, I left because I can't deal with that guy. I couldn't. I
And the
just
only reason why I couldn't leave because those girls really were dependent on me, and that church really was going through something, and I didn't want to just leave like that. But I did my little last dance, and I gracefully bowed out.
yep. And I think I did my last poem. Was it Children of Edom? Oh,
Children
can't
of,
you see that
can't you
God is
see what
watching?
God? Can't you see that God is watching? Oh my gosh, this poem was so powerful. This poem he read the day that everything went down when we had friends and family. He read, "Can't you see God is watching all the tricks and schemes that you do? Can't you see God is watching? He's got his eyes on you." I don't even remember the whole thing, but that poem was so powerful because the way that BG used to write his poems, he would like pray or fast, and Yah would give it to him. And he, oh my gosh, it was so profound. They try to eliminate the poetic ministry because the words that were coming out of the children's mouth and BG's mouth was so powerful and strong that the people didn't know that their children had this inside of them, and they had to dead that.
Yeah, they did it. So needless to say, we left the church, that church, and we fell back to the world.
Yeah, for a bit, only because we were so upset and so distraught and so torn because we couldn't believe that. We was like, "Oh God, why'd you do this? Oh, we tried to go wholeheartedly to church for
Yeah.
you, and you did this to us, and oh, these people were bad, and we're not gonna ever go to a church again." To them, BG's mom had a church that we at first originally went to when we first got married. It was called New Hope, and that church was a circus. That was the day that we left that church. It is a circus. We always would sit in the front. We had sat in the back, and oh my gosh, it was a circus Soleil going on. It was just crazy.
Yeah, let's talk about this church. This is a wannabe mega church. All right, this is the thing about it. They had a lot of members, a lot of members that have money. They end up extending the church and doing a whole bunch of stuff with it. And one of the main singers, she ended up dying, and the minister ended up saying, "Well, you see, when you speak against the man of the Most High, see what happened." And he said that's the reason why the lady
half of the church left.
Half the church left, and all that money left. But anyway, he's one of those prosperity type ministers, one of the ministers that you can't hardly understand what he's saying. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he do. But anyway, this is a guy that he was married, and then he got married to another lady, and she was probably a bishop lady. Then he ended up getting married to this other lady, and his excuse.
She was a witch.
Yeah, she was a witch. We'll get to that. But his excuse was that he was marrying these certain women for the congregation instead of him having a freaking whoremongering problem.
Yeah, first of all, he was married to a blind lady and cheating on her.
Yeah, with the bishop lady.
Yeah.
And then
they got a divorce.
They got a divorce. He ended up marrying the bishop lady.
Yeah.
And then he cheated on the bishop lady with this other ghetto lady.
Ghetto fabulous witch.
Yeah.
She's a ghetto fabulous witch.
I'm talking about ghetto donkey booty.
Just nasty mouth and just talk like this, and she's so ghetto, and I bet nobody better not come into my husband's office like that. Yeah. That's how she was.
Yeah. And the thing about it that they was doing a Christmas production one time, and Bella here, she was directing it and everything, and
I directed the Christmas production.
Yeah, and
she took all the credit for it.
Yeah, the minister gave her all the credit for it, and didn't give nobody else that was part of it any credit at all. And I know that people not supposed to take what I'm trying to say.
Try to take the thing. I didn't care about getting the credit. I was just doing it for God because I thought that's Christmas was about his birth back then. And so I didn't care. I was just doing it for the church. Like, we was all a team. There's no I in team. Teamwork make the dream work. But the way that she did it, she just is so evil. She was a witch. All the people that was around her, that were females, that ever came up against her, that befriended her, all got under some situation. Like this lady, I befriended her. It was the first lady of the church. Never been friends with the first lady of the church. I was just trying to go to church. She knew that I danced at the other thing with her niece. Her niece was the one that was raped by the pastor. And so I became the leader of the dance ministry and the drama ministry there. And boy, why? Why did I do that? I had so much opposition because I had the girls all the way fully clothed with gloves. No skin was showing. They had long skirts and white pants underneath, socks on. Because before they had a
no camel toes, no nipples.
Yeah, they had
showing.
A hip hop dance thing, yeah. And they were, I don't know. It was just a hot mess. And yeah. I was down. We were called the graceful worshipers because we was graceful and we worshiped the Most High in spirit and in truth. At that time, it was God, but the lady's daughter was in the dance ministry, and they would make all these rules and regulations, but the girl's friend, if she just wanted to come to the church that day, she wanted the girl's friend to just be able to dance. And I was like, no. She has to be a member of the church, and she needs to be coming to practice in order to be a member of the team. And me and the first lady and I, we had words in front of the children one day, and then the pastor heard, and he made the wife leave out of the dance situation. She was no longer allowed to be involved. And that's when she turned to evil. And she tried to take my hair out, tried to put a spell on me or something.
Yeah.
And took my hair out because my hair was long and pretty or whatever, and because I didn't put relaxers or nothing, and my hair was long, and I don't know what happened, but my hair was gone.
Yeah, and
Flo to Evans,
it was a few other ladies that fooled with the first lady that hair fell out too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and so when I realized that, because my friend had sent me this book about what is it, evil in the church, people casting spells on people in the church, and I just took everything that first lady ever gave me and burnt it. I'm talking about little outfits and scarves and see, so she had gave me this scarf that was like a web, because I always wear scarves in my head, and right wherever I wore that scarf is where all my hair got taken out. Mm-hmm. And then one day we was in there in the church, and her door caught on fire, and we didn't even know. It was like hot heat. That's because it was evil.
Mm-hmm. I needed to say that these two churches that we went to pushed us away from going to the Christian church.
Yes.
We ended up going to one more church after we moved to Texas. And
wait a minute, tell them about
what?
Tell them about after that whole situation, how we used to go to churches and then we saw the white Jesus.
Oh yeah, we when we were looking for churches, we had my little niece with us one time, and we were looking for a church, and we walked up in the church, and it had this big old white Jesus
on the cross.
That's before we knew it was Caesar Bajor, or whatever his name is.
But we knew it wasn't right.
We knew it wasn't right, so we turned around, we
ran, and we
left our little niece.
We ran out of the church and ran to the car. She's like, "Hey, wait for me."
Yeah.
It was like a getaway. It was funny.
But so we ended up moving to Texas and ended up going to this one church like probably twice. And
what do you mean, the pastor would be remiss?
Yeah, we went there to see, and then we were trying to leave because they was doing like some type of honor to the pastor, and they was like there for 2 extra hours. So I'm like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And so I went. So the lady grabbed my hand like this and wouldn't let it go. I was trying to go.
She was like, "Pastor would be remiss."
Okay. He ain't the Messiah, so I mean it don't matter. I'm going. But it reminded me too much of the other two churches that we went to, and
of New Hope, and Emmanuel.
Emmanuel was the first one with the rapist,
the pedophile rapist preacher.
Yeah, and the second church is New Hope.
The whoremonger
pastor. My mom probably see this get mad, but I'm sorry, Mom.
I love you, Mama.
We love you, but that's the truth. It's what we see.
Get out of there.
It's what we see. It's what we see. But anyway, that's our trek to getting out of the church. We're gonna go ahead and continue on in the next section talking about how we actually came in to the truth. So stay tuned for it. We love you all. This is BG
and K Bella.
Berkut.
Shalom.